She was not created from Adam's rib. She is the essence of duality, one half of man, one half of the universe. She is Shakti. She is cosmic energy. Without her, there is no existence. She is Prithvi, the source, Earth Mother, giver and receiver of life incarnate. She is Abla, the strengthless one, Sita, the faithful, silent wife, she who worshipped her husband as God. And yet she influenced history as poetess and queen, her power emanating from behind the throne.
By these laws and customs set down 3,000 years ago. Her father protects her in childhood, her husband in her youth, and her sons in old age. She must never be independent.
When Mahatma Gandhi reached out and called upon the women of India, she, the sheltered, the oppressed, came and stood shoulder to shoulder with men in defiance of colonial rule. Whenever the need has arisen throughout history, women have emerged from behind the veil. Sovereign queens have led their armies into battle. Others, rich and poor, literate and illiterate, peasant and patrician, have faced police action and jail to fight for their country's freedom. On the 15th of August, 1947, India won her freedom from colonial rule. Women, with the help of men of foresight and understanding, won the battle for franchise and equality of status. Within these formative years, many of them have reached positions of eminence in India and abroad. They have been ambassadors and governors. Many have been elected as members of parliament and as ministers. And there are those who have become heads of states. On the 28th anniversary of independence, the Prime Minister of India, Mrs. Indira Gandhi, addresses the nation. The day, the 15th of August, the year 1975, the International Women's Year.
वैसे इस साल भी हम सब यहाँ जमा हुए हैं अपने राष्ट्र ध्वज को फहराने, अपनी श्रद्धा, अपनी निष्ठा.
This land of over 600 million people, this land in which people of every race, caste and creed, Mongol, Caucasian, Negroid, dark, fair, the sophisticated and the unspoiled, live and work side by side, speaking 15 major languages and over 1,600 dialects. land, where people of every religion, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Jain, Sikh, Parsi, Buddhist and Jew, practice and preach with tolerance for each other's faith. Where social customs have changed little over the years, and family life and ties are still very strong. Where reverence to the saints and prophets is still a vital part of everyday life.
के लिए ये कदम हमने लिया और उसका
This land of compassionate people, of many contrasts and contradictions, who, despite the great diversities of race, religion and customs, honor and respect each other.
वो परीक्षा के लिए
An intangible common thread binding and holding together this corner of the world.
The rapid changes in social laws have run far ahead of actual practice, and the major task of educating women is to make them aware of these opportunities. Though education is open to both boys and girls at all levels, most girls tend to take their higher education in the traditional fields of arts and humanities, in which there are 300,000 graduates, whereas women with technical qualifications are only half that number. Only a fraction of women work after graduation, about 24% from the arts and humanities and 64% who have science degrees. Yet the educated woman leads a more meaningful life in managing her home, in rearing her children, and in creating a social consciousness to raise her own status. These women are the pace setters in the trend towards total emancipation of all women.
I had been working with youth movements for some time back, and I found that the youth are in want of facing challenges. Their education today is diverse from the challenges of life. The people here are Adivasis, and they are living in a very poor state. They have their own lands, but they have no means of cultivation. So I asked the college students to give me 2 years of their time, come here and work with me. There was a sense of frustration in the youth. This is what they were wanting. The situation was right, and the response very heartening.
This is a successful dairy farmer who 10 years ago started a program of voluntary participation with city college students to help the poor and more unfortunate of their fellow men.
We thought that we should come here and help introduce scientific methods of cultivation. And with this economic change, we would be able to introduce some elements of social change also.
This is but a fraction of the larger canvas of the dedicated social workers at the village level who work throughout the length and breadth of India, teaching the village women to become better farmers, mothers, and leaders of the community.
It is through these girls and the other students that come here that I am able to transform my ideas into action. These girls do all sorts of work. They educate the children as well as work on the land. After 2 years of training, they find that there are vast avenues open to them to introduce a change in themselves also.
The cultivable land is limited, and the population it supports growing. In order to supplement their seasonal income, 13 million landless laborers, men and women, with their small children, move towards the cities twice every year to build dams, bridges, roads, canals, offices, factories, houses. This massive migration from village to city generates a constant flow of ideas by which a gradual change in living standards and age-old customs is taking place. In the search for a specialized system to look after and educate their children while both mother and father work, India has pioneered the developing of mobile creches that move from one construction site to another along with the workers.
The fall in infant mortality and the eradication of endemic diseases through successful health schemes has resulted in the overwhelming growth of population, nullifying much of the progress India has made in the last 30 years. Over 2 million social workers, doctors,